I messed up. And I sat there for like 20 minutes, just like in awe and shock. I was like, man,
Can't believe I did.
what am I doing with my life?
A reflection moment. That's when he went towards the Gold Star.
Yeah, that's why I was like, man, I'm done with this hobby, man. This is ridiculous. What am I doing, man?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the TCG Table. Today, we have a phenomenal guest, and I'm going to introduce him right now. My guest today is the man, the myth, the legend, known for his inventory of Gold Stars, exotic booster boxes, as well as a lot of high-end cards for Pokemon. He is the one, the only, the man behind the notorious brand, Savhype. Welcome, my guest at this time, Mike Chang.
Hey, how's it going?
Nice to see you, my friend. So this is kind of like a face reveal for you, huh?
Yeah. So I don't really show my face on like the social media. So this is like one of the few times you'll see my face.
Man, you're like Spider-Man. No, it's a privilege, man. Thank you for doing that. It means a lot to me. We're really happy to have you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Let's get right into it. People want to know, man. They have questions. You know, I'm going to put this title of like just Gold Star, Gold Star, Gold Star. That's all it's going to be. It's going to be the clickbait, guys. All right, let's get to it. You guys know I love to do this, but for this particular story, I think it'll be pretty funny to hear it. I know everybody's going to love it. Tell them how we met.
All right, so I believe it's SoCal TCG, right? It's like either the second or third one.
Yeah.
That they set up.
Yep.
And we were neighbors, right? And this time I was like, because usually you could bring food. And,
Yeah.
And then this particular situation, the hotel had
Very
the
strict.
request, right? You had to order food. And I was like, oh, I'll be fine. I'll order it the day of, no big deal. I'll make sure, get my order in. And that time it was just me and my mom.
Yeah.
And usually I don't really eat. I know it's not good. I don't really eat during the shows. But my mom, she needs to eat. So I was like, okay, I'll put it in time. I told Moss, Moss, Mr. Moss.
Mr. Moss, shout out.
Yeah, shout
First
out to
guest,
Mr.
remember,
Moss.
guys.
I sent him the submission form, and he's like, oh, you're okay. And then he comes back to me and he's like, hey, brother, sorry, man. You missed the cutoff time. I was like, oh, man, shoot. That's unfortunate, right?
Yeah.
And I think you and your wife overheard us.
Yeah.
And we couldn't get any food because it was like a 30-minute walk, whatever the case is. And I was going to have my mom walk. And you guys were like, hey, do you guys want half of this burger? I'm just like, what? That's kind of a weird thing to ask. I barely know you guys, right?
Yeah.
And my mom's like, yes, please. And then I'm like, okay, I'll ask him again.
Yeah.
And then you're like, yeah, here, take it. And here we are.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, crazy.
I mean, you left out the gross detail that I accidentally took a bite already before.
No. We're not gonna. Yeah. We couldn't have. We couldn't.
Yeah, we cut that out. We cut that out, guys. But no, like one of the theme we always put on in this show is we emphasize on connections, right?
Yes.
Because it is a small community, especially when you guys run local show week after week, you're gonna start seeing the same people. And I'm just so glad that we were able to kind of help you out. And now, we became friends, and I have you on a guest and you doing a whole Spider-Man face review. You know what I mean? That would have never happened without a full, bitten burger. So I appreciate that.
Little snippets of me on YouTube.
No germs.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, let's get right into it. I think everybody wants to know, at least I want to know for sure, like, what does the name Savhype comes from? What does it stand for? What does it mean to you? Start with that.
The abbreviation of Sav is really savage, right? When I come from a military background, we used to call it things like, oh, that's savage. But back then it was just like that's cool kind of word, right?
Yeah.
So when I joined in 2010, it was just like, oh, that's a savage way to do it, okay? So I was like, oh, savage is kind of too, scary or too like, what would I say, like harsh on like the term, this is a kid
friendly hobby.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So let me just abbreviate it and to make it like Sav. So like it sounds kind of like, oh, what does that mean? hey, then now you know what it means. And now obviously the hype is just whatever is hype in the time or in the trend. I like to just follow it, right?
Yeah.
'Cause everybody rides the waves, and it's good to be in. So
Okay.
that's where I came up with it, and obviously you put the TCG for the trading card game, but that's
Yeah.
I mean it's not really a mastermind behind the name. It's just it just sounds cool at the time, and I just went with it.
You're definitely the mastermind, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna get all into that, guys. Guys, if you like Gold Star, if you think Gold Star is the moon, this is the episode for you because this is the man right here, man. If you haven't seen his Instagram, go check out his Instagram because it's just nothing but Gold Stars. So, all right, cool. Well, let's get into the segment here. As I mentioned, you are known for having Gold Star, exotic product. You just like you said, you stay ahead of the trend, right? I want to know, and like we hang out, we talked a lot, but we never really like sit down and have a good chit chat about why we do the things we do, right?
Yeah.
I want to know from my story standpoint, just so I can hear it. How did you come across Gold Star? Why Gold Stars in everything that the TCG has to offer, and what draws you to it?
So, well, let's just take it back.
Yeah.
I started vending where the wave started to jump, right? Where all the markets started going crazy. Right? Back in, I would say, late September of October of 2024.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Like when Twilight dropped.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And I just started getting to, me and my wife went to Costco. We saw the 151 booster bundle with the tins and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Pokemon is relevant again, right? And then we looked at each other. I was like, I'm going to get a couple to rip. And she looked at me and she's like, okay, right? And then the rest is history. I pulled the Lugia and I was like, I looked it up. I was like, man, this thing is worth like triple what I paid, right? And it just got me back into the hobby because I was in it before the COVID time.
Yeah.
And then got out of it and it died down. And then that brought me in. And then obviously you do your research and like, 151, all that stuff. And it just brought all the nostalgic piece back. And how I look at the market is, because back then it was altars, right? Everything is altar.
Altars.
Right?
Yep.
But when you look at the scene of let's say a show or the big shows like Collecticon, Front Row, everybody has altars, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's like the lowest bidder will win, right?
Price to the bottom.
Yeah, if you have a card, let's say at that time the bummy was like $700, right?
Right.
That's
Guys,
crazy.
what did I tell y'all? If y'all guys been watching this 4 episode into, this is the 5th episode, I wasn't lying, guys.
Yeah, so Bubble Mew, like Charizard, all that stuff was like $500-$600, right? And then if you have it for $600, and then you as the Pokemon hero has it for $600, why would the consumer, the customer, come buy it from me or you? Like, what's gonna stand you out, or what's gonna stand out?
Yep.
Okay, mine is $590 now. Well, it's like, well, that guy's $590. I'm gonna go that guy, right?
Yeah.
So it got to the point where, all right, it moves, it sells. However, it's like, what could separate me from the other vendors, right? And I looked at that, and Altars was popping off, obviously. And then once it got to that point where everybody has it, I'm just like, I gotta think outside the box.
Okay.
Right?
I like that already.
I think outside the box. So like, I look at YouTube, I look at social media, look at other people's like vendor POVs.
Yeah.
Like what moves, right? And what customers are bringing in to trade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I like look at how to time the market. Because when I say timing, right? Because a lot of the stuff are being pumped.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Artificially or naturally, right? There's obviously, you know what I mean? There's always the argument.
Yeah. You got to catch that on its high and then
Dump
get
it
out.
before it drops. Yeah.
Right?
100%.
Yeah. So it was Altars. And people are all hyped about tag teams, right?
Yeah.
But for the people that know me, I was in the wave for the tag teams. When I was trading Altars at 80, 90% to vendors for tag teams, and they were like confused. Like, why would this vendor trade me at a percentage? Because guess what? I don't care. Right?
Yeah, you're staying ahead of the game.
Yeah, because when I trade you 80%, and if I hold on to the Altar, it's going to drop 20%.
Yeah.
Right? But then now I get your tag team that you didn't think was going to go up 110%, 100%.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
And granted, it's like in the past, and moving forward, a lot of vendors catch on, and that's why they don't want to trade with other vendors.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And granted, they could do whatever they want because it's their inventory, whatever the case is. But yeah, that's how I see it. Where if I didn't make the move, I would have just been like everybody else, and we would all have the same stuff, and we'd just all be selling the same cards, same sealed, and it would not separate me from the rest. Right?
Yeah.
And you think about all those big YouTubers, like what separates them, and like customers that were lined up for them instead of just walk the table, you know?
Yeah.
You know, it's like we're in the people business. We're not in the selling Pokemon card business. We're in the people business.
Yeah. Here I am thinking they just want autographs and signature. You know what I mean? They're on there for the card. They just want to show up on TV.
Exactly,
on
right? Yeah, they want to feel like they're part of something.
Yeah.
Right, like a community. You know, because at the end of the day, this is a community, and then if you make them feel special in like your transaction or your interactions, like they will always come back to you. Right?
Okay.
You know, yeah.
So dive deeper into it because I get so much like comment, like even like people who I know watches the podcast and they've seen a few episodes. They're like, man, Alan, you say you don't like Gold Star. What's wrong with you? Like, I'm like, guys, listen, let me clarify right now. I personally don't like Gold Star. It's not my thing. But as a vendor, I know the value of Gold Star, right? Like, don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? Like, business is business. So, but with that said, right? I also hear a lot of like brand new vendor. I see a lot of brand new vendors, right? This past weekend, we were at OC car shows, and it's crazy. It was shocking to me because we just went in for maybe like half an hour. And when I walked in, honestly, 95% of the vendors are brand new. Like, I have never seen them before. I've seen this one table that was like 3 16-year-old kids. Like being a vendor is a cool thing now. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I want to use this platform to set them up for success, right? Or at least not let them, fall or like make a mistake, right? Because it's costly. It's a portfolio, right? At the end of the day. So I think my question to you and diving deeper here is how does one go about acquiring Gold Star? Because it is not cheap. And you are the man that known for Gold Stars. And that has to be quite hefty, right? How do you scale into it, I guess?
Yeah, the reason why I got into Gold Stars, because if you look at the scene back then, there wasn't that many, right?
Yeah.
I don't know where they came from, but every vendor has Gold Stars now, right? But back then, it was maybe if you go to a show maybe with 50 or 100 vendors, probably a handful have a couple Gold Stars. But then they only have like 1 or 2 because they don't come by as often. So I was like, man, if I get 50 of them, it's going to be crazy, right?
Yeah. You own the population,
So
basically.
if I get maybe like 3 of each or whatever the case is, because there's like a lot of them. I think there's like 20 or 30 some of them. But no, don't quote me, but
no,
there's a few out there. And at that time, they were still reasonable prices when I got in, because I would trade the altars for basically, or tag teams at that point.
Yeah, I
would trade the tag teams for similar value.
Yeah,
because right, tag teams are hot. So if I trade it for straight value, I'm good. How I acquire Gold Stars is just you got to hunt them down. Like you got to look at eBay, and the market for Gold Star is basically skewed to where if there's no listing, I can set a market.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Now, it can't be ridiculous because, like let's say for example, the Gyarados 7, there's no sales for 7, right?
Not yet.
Not yet. But before, like a few months ago, there was no sale, right?
Yeah.
And then there was a sale for a 6, a sale for 8, whatever the case is. You just got to be reasonable and like, okay,
like
this
right
makes
in that
sense.
Range.
Yeah. Because you can't be like, well, a 6 sold for 4,000, a 7 is like 8,000. That makes no sense, right?
Yeah.
My wife would tell you I literally is on the laptop or on my phone 90% of the time looking for that next like deal, looking for that next like, oh, this is it.
Yeah.
This Gold Star right here is undervalued.
Interesting.
Right? And big shout out to Gold Star Ash. You know him?
No, I don't know him personally. You're gonna make me a connection.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. he is basically with like he briefly discussed like, hey, because there's not that many Gold Stars, right? Because you look at every single Gold Star pop is like what, under maybe 500 or so, right? Per grade.
Yeah.
And then even more rare if you find raw. And obviously sometimes if it's raw, it's like the market is skewed because like vendors or
Conditions.
like, they're like, oh, this can get a 6.
So
I'm gonna price it at a 6 range. Like, well, it doesn't make any sense, you know?
Right.
But stuff like that is just, that's how I acquired it. Obviously, when you network, when you know a lot of people are like, oh, hey, I heard you're looking for Gold Stars, or look, you're looking for this. They'll bring it to you, you know, and then you
That's cool.
make that relationship and build that networking channel, and they'll just bring you what you need, and you give them what they need at the moment, you know.
Awesome.
So that's how I acquire so many in so like short amount of time. And as you see, like, it doesn't stay long, right? If the price is right, it's gone, you know.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Or if it's undervalued and people have the same mindset as me, see it, they're gonna take it, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. But given that, because it's so scarce, right? Do you ever run into a situation where you're like, well, I just bought one, now I sold one, where do I get the next? You know what I mean? Like, it's so scarce anyway.
Yeah.
Right? How can you create like a, you know, workable loop, I guess, right? Like something that's sustainable. Do you branch out into other product? I think I know the answer to it, but it's like, I think if I look at your portfolio, I would say maybe 85% is Gold Star. So does that situation come up often where you're like, man, I'm out of inventory, and if I'm buying back from the guy that I just sold it to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's hard to acquire inventory, right?
Yeah.
Especially good inventory.
Yeah.
Like anybody could buy trainers, IRs. Like anybody could buy that stuff,
Yeah.
right? That thing is like abundance and shows, and people want to offload that, right? But what I tell some of these vendor friends is like, you have to. It goes back to networking.
Yeah.
You have to go to your LGSs, build that relationship so they could work up to that 80, 90%, you know?
Yeah.
Go up to, you know, other vendors that are bigger than you. That way they could, you know, maybe, like I said, bring you stuff that you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
And if I lose inventory, I'm not worried about it. Because if I sell out, because a lot of, I watch your, you know, last episode, people say, oh, I don't want to sell out.
Yeah.
I want to sell out. You know why? Because I just got fresh inventory.
Yeah.
Right. And people are like, how do you keep getting fresh inventory? Because it makes them curious.
Yeah.
Because if you always have the same stuff, they're like,
Seen it, it'll be there.
Seen it.
Yeah.
It'll be there next week, you know? And then my main focus and my key is like, I want to stand out, right? I don't want to be like, you know, big. You know, I just want to separate where that middle happy ground where, oh, I know who Savhype is. You know, that's it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
He's a good guy, and that's it. You know.
Yeah, you're a good guy. No, and that's why it's so fascinating. Like, I think you've done a great job of doing that, right? Because even going back to that first time we met, you know, that was literally the first time I've known anything of you and your family. And I just looked over, and I just remember seeing you had like a shelf of like exotic booster boxes. I'm like, okay, this man is loaded. You know what I mean? And I hope you are, but you know. But I'm just like, man, he obviously, it immediately tells me that you've done something right in the period of time that you were in. I don't know how long at that time, right? I don't know if you were, I mean, I literally just almost found out that you've been in maybe like 3 months longer than I have.
Yeah.
Right? But that tells you every vendor's journey, by making the right decision, you can just leap and bounce from other people. So, you know, to me, the lessons I'm picking up here is just like, inventory selection is very important, right? Like, obviously, you're gonna get into a situation where you're buying all arts, you're buying the modern stuff. Don't think about that as something you want to like, just like, yeah, I'm gonna get all of it, right? And just don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Think about the overall ecosystem of the hobby, right? Think about what's rare. Every categories of product has its time to shine, and you just want to catch that next wave.
It's like a cycle.
Yeah.
Right now, cycle is probably altars again. Who knows, right?
Absolutely is. I called it.
Yeah. And people were not buying those stuff when it was, let's say, but me again, for example, like $800. People were dumping it. People were dumping for $600-700 because they want to get out of it because they think they're gonna drop. and who knows? Nobody knows the future, and now look at it. It's like a $2,000.
It's
again,
insane.
It's
right
crazy.
now.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? I hope like this podcast has been going on for about a month. Like, I've been saying the bubble meal is gonna be like the next thing, and hopefully I'm not part of that, helping that grow. You know, and the ridiculous part is I don't even own one right now.
Yeah.
So damn, I missed my own train. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's really cool. I think, you know, Gold Star is definitely. I'm finding myself like just between the last episode when I recorded till this episode, I find myself with 3 copies of it somehow, right? So they are circulating around. I definitely think there are opportunity for vendors who can trade into them. And again, guys, if this is something that you done your due diligence and you want to take that chance to see if it pays off, that's on you, right? Give it a chance, and you never know. Worst case is, you know, you lose a little bit, but I think if you make smart decision, do your due diligence, you'll find yourself being able to kind of make it work in this, you know, hobby, if you will. So, yeah.
Because the thing with Gold Stars, there's the intriguing part. There's not that many shiny Pokemons, right?
Yeah.
I get it. The what is it? The baby shinies, that's cool and all, but it's not like it's there's a lot abundance of them,
Yeah.
right? But the Gold Stars, if you look at back in that era, there's not that many being pulled, or there's not that many in circulation. If they are, it's all beat up because of that time where nobody knew about grading. Nobody, you know, it's just they put in their binder or they put in their deck boxes and it gets all messed up. So to find some in like good condition, or just even find them at all, it's just like rare now.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it's a shiny Pokemon. It's and majority of them all popular Pokemon. You know, minus like the Regirocks. You know, no hate on the Regirocks, but they're like the worst ones.
Registeel,
Yeah, they'll sit forever, unless it's like undervalued. You know.
Yeah, you know, interesting story. The same show when we met, somebody traded in the Registeel, and within 10 minutes it was gone. So that still speaks to the volume of how scarce it is. Somebody wants it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Somebody wants a shiny Gold Star because there's only a few of them, right? There's only, like I said, a handful of them, and they're not. I don't think they're ever gonna do Gold Stars again. They teased us with the celebrations, right? The reprint and the Greninja, but then I don't think they're gonna do it. But if they do, it's gonna be another like wave. Everybody's gonna go back to the old ones again. You know?
Interesting.
Yeah.
So okay, I want to take a detour because I said this last episode, and again, people it's like telling me I'm wrong. I want to get your take on it, right? I think you heard it. You know what's coming. What about megas, right? Because I think everybody has a very opinionated opinion on megas. Obviously, that's the next set that's coming out. We just got done with Worlds, and the review came out. That looks pretty good.
The new art set, what is it, Mega Attack or whatever?
Yeah, Inferno X, right?
Yeah.
And that has like a very American comic book style because obviously the city is like drawn from, you know, American inspiration. I'm curious your take on megas. I just want to I blank canvas, like say whatever you want about it. You hate them, you love them, you think they're good, you think whatever you want.
Me personally, I like them, but I know how some people feel about them because a lot of the megas are tailored, or their art is kind of aggressive, right? It's like it's in your face, you know, and it's like a lot of people don't like that kind of art for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's cool. But I think the megas still have some room, but not a lot to grow. Because if you look at some of the full arts, right? The Lucario and the Gyarados, Mewtwo, all of them are over, 2K roughly?
Yeah.
Right? And from a buyer's perspective, right? If I'm a collector, which I don't really collect any of my inventory, is do I really want to spend $2,000 on this? Or I could get something better, like a Bubble Mew. Like Bubble Mew is a great card, like, you know what I'm saying? And there's like over how many population, like over in like 5 digits, and it's still that rare. But then if you look at, let's say, a Mega Lucario, which new stages dropped, but it didn't really spike that much because it's not nobody really wants it, right? Because it's all about scarcity, right? There's like same thing with like the Van Gogh. It's just like scarcity. If there's 10 copies and only 10 people want it, that doesn't matter. But if there's 1,000 copies, but a million people want it, then here you go. Like that's what makes it. That's why I don't think there's a lot more room to grow. However, the new megas will definitely be popular.
Yeah.
You know, because they're coming with new art or new like rarity, right? The
Fresh
gold,
art, yeah.
the mega attacks, like people are gonna chase it, you know. And then at the start, it's gonna be all high, and then the dust is gonna settle. Everybody that actually wants it has it, and then it's gonna be the same cycle again. Right?
Normalize, yeah.
And maybe 5 years from now, it's like, man, I want a mega attack Charizard, you know. So
Yeah,
just how it works.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
See, guys, don't just listen to me. I don't know anything. But you see, this man knows a thing or two, man.
No. I'm small time, man.
No, if you're small time, I'm just like micro right now. But I mean, that's kind of the same conclusion, right? I think you articulated it very well. To me, when I look at megas, like doesn't matter what the Pokemon is, they all look exactly the same.
Yeah.
And
Like
same
the art
color
is,
scheme. It's just there.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like I said, it's cool. Like it's cool. Like if I'm a binder collector, obviously I would probably collect them. But then, like I said, I don't want to pay that amount of money just because I have it. You know, some people might.
Right.
I'm not saying, you know, it's just me personally. Like I don't see I'd rather collect the illustration rigs, to be honest. You know.
Exactly. And I think that was the key that when I said it, you know, the last few episodes, people missed, right? People was like, oh, how come you don't like mega? Guys, it's not that I don't like them. My opinion and my preference is irrelevant to the market,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
What I understood is that the liquidity, right? The ability for megas, and not just one megas like the Mega Lucario, but megas as a category, as a whole, right? If you look at tag team as a whole, like they kind of popped at the same time recently. And look at tag team, it went all the way to the moon, and now it's already kind of down back to earth.
Yeah.
And I'm still waiting for this mega wave to take off. I'm like, what happened to the engine?
It's slowly. It's like if you look at it, it's slowly.
Yeah.
But like I say, it's not gonna shoot up because I just don't think the desirability for the megas is there. Like tag team is cool because there's 2 Pokemon in one card. You know, it's like that's like never done before. But it wasn't cool 6 months ago, right?
Right.
So like it just suddenly became cool. And then Mega is just slowly creeping, but the Mega announcement was already made like what 4 or 5 months ago, and then it never caught the wave. You know? It never caught the hype. You know. So,
I understand.
So
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
So want to go back to something you said earlier. You mentioned you're from military background.
Yeah.
I think, man, one of the things I want to just get your advice is work-life balance, man. Like I, for example, work a full-time job.
Yeah.
You know, I also bend on the weekend, you know, and also now I'm doing the podcast, hosting, editing. What about you, man? How do you find time to balance?
Ooh, that's really hard. It's just have a foundation, right? Have a plan. Like me and my wife, we talk about this all the time. There's slots open, but it's like what I want to prioritize, right?
Yeah.
So my current role is observer role. So time is compact sometimes if we're on a training cycle. So every month we have units that come here at Forwin.
Yeah.
And they train to get ready to deploy, right?
Yeah.
And our role here is just to observe, coach, and then train them. And our schedule is predictable. We have what we call is a long range calendar, so I could see what days I have off, and 99% of the time I'm gonna get those days off, and that's how I just plug in my shows, right?
Okay.
And with the family part, it's just like I have a very, very supportive wife that just allows me to be.
Shout out to
tell her-
wifey.
Yep, shout out to wifey, and she's back there. She just says, obviously she's priority number one.
Yeah,
But she gives
100%.
me the green light. It's gonna be showtime, right?
Yeah.
Whatever, plug and play. We work it out with work, personal life, and then show, right? Because work, I can only change so much with the scheduling. Obviously, Army comes first, and that's in the and yeah, I just have to find the time, and it's hard. But when it comes to Pokemon, I don't feel like it's work.
Yeah.
It's fun, right? It's fun to me. It's fun that I get to like buy a card for $1 and sell it for $2. I'm hyped up, you know?
Yeah. We talked about this, man. We're like Jesus on a weekly basis. We just turn $1 to $2 for no reason.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Because it goes back to when I was, all right, I don't know how much time we have, but quick rundowns. Like,
Go for it.
When I was little, my parents, they used to vend. Mm-hmm. They used to go to like swap meets, shout out to swap meets. Everything is, haggle prices, and then like the fairgrounds, OC Fair. Yeah,
Yep.
they did all that.
Wow.
And me and my sister as kids, we would go and help them, like how you and your daughter are doing now, right? She'll go into the shows. And funny story, I started when Yu-Gi-Oh first came out, I was like, oh, I could set up a little table right here and sell my cards. And that caught on, and my dad was like, man, what the heck?
Yeah, put him to work. Hurry up.
No. He saw that, and then so he took over. So we started selling.
He just kicked you out. Get out.
We started selling Yu-Gi-Oh cards for like whatever the big boom period was when it first came out. And that's how that vending or selling background came into like my world.
Yeah, so it runs in the family.
Yeah,
wow,
so
that's
they've been
cool.
doing it all the way till I forgot when, but probably when I hit like middle school, high school.
Yeah.
And on the weekends, me and my sister, we don't have weekends, man. We go with our parents and we sell stuff, whether it's pillows or toys, whatever the case is. Like my dad and my mom were very savvy and very up with the trend.
Daddy Savhype.
Yeah, to catch on to like what's hot and what's new and what's not available to anybody, and then they will go get that stuff and sell it, and then just ride
The wave.
the wave and the hype and stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow, that's very, very interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, man. All right, well, this gets us kind of to the next segment. We already talked about it a little bit, but I want to dive even deeper into it. The current market. I literally cannot make this up, guys. I don't know, man. Like, I'm so glad. I'm really, really, really glad that these episodes are filmed ahead of time, and then I have kind of like a week to buffer, so people can't really just say, "Oh, you're pumping the market," because it's delayed, right? It's great, fantastic. Last couple of episodes, obviously, I've been saying it. Bubble Mew is gonna be one of the first one to pop. We're there now.
Yeah.
Right? As of the recording of this time right now, it's like what, 1,800, 1,900?
I think there's like sales about like 2K roughly. Yeah.
It is just crazy. Like when the train catches on, right? It just catches on. And so I am curious to see your analysis of this current market. Is it just because I'm kind of just thinking to like, well, okay, I feel like I see the gamut of the cycle now, right? In just a short 8 months. And is that it? What are some of the hidden trends? What's your thought of the second, booming of all art? Is it gonna go to the new height, right?
Yeah. See, me honestly, I wouldn't take in alt art a month ago, but now it's just if I take it in, it still will be at a price that I think I'm comfortable with. Let's say for like the Bubble Mew is like 2K. If I could get it for like 17-ish, I'll be comfortable with that. Because worst case scenario, it drops to 17, right?
Yeah.
Break even. Because it's not going to drop to 800 again.
Yeah.
Because every time it goes, and it's really, I wouldn't compare sealed to singles, but if you just look at the sealed aspect of, the Pokemon game is when it reaches highs, when it drops again, it's never the same, right?
Right.
It's a new floor.
Yeah.
And you kind of, with a little cautious when you look at singles, because it could plummet, right?
Yeah.
Because if you go back and look at the COVID thing, like everything plummeted.
Look at
right?
Drowsy.
Yeah. See, those things were being pumped to like what, $80 now. What, back to reality, like $28, $15, right?
And even then, that card was like what, an $8 card.
It was.
Right now it's like 15, 20, right? It still doesn't go back.
It won't go back to like $8.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Even though like if you bought one, that that additional $7 isn't gonna really make your life any different.
Yeah.
But the point is, it will never go back to like the $8
You
range.
just have to be careful. right?
Yeah.
You can't be like, well, it's gonna rise to 3,000. It will maybe someday, who knows? But you just gotta be careful because do you want to take that risk, right?
Yeah.
Off of so many copies in the world, we have YouTubers and people that are hoarding these stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're hoarding 1,000 copies of Giratina V's, PSA 10s. Like people don't know about, right?
Yep.
And then when it's time to sell, and this is why all these Gold Stars came out. Like, oh, all of a sudden Gold Stars are high. Everybody has Gold Stars. Where they come from?
Yeah, exactly.
Because people, whether it's collectors, whether it's investors, whether it's just people, a normal guy that just likes the card, they hoard them. Us as in this industry, I hate to say it, but you want to be controversial. We're just a bunch of hoarders.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
100%. And I'm guilty of it too,
Yeah.
to some degree. But I know when to sell, right? Some people get too attached,
Yeah,
right?
interesting.
And I talked to a lot of these vendors. They have it on their case, and then you go in and say, how much? And they're like, it's not for sale.
I know, I seen that.
Why did you put it out?
Yeah.
To showcase it? I'm like, okay, cool, but it's like,
What's the point?
what's the point?
Yeah.
You're here as a vendor to do what? Buy, sell, trade.
Yeah.
Not buy, sell, trade, show.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's
Show
just my
off.
take. Yeah.
Buy, sell, show off.
Yeah. You want to show off to your friends, and because like some vendors were actually like, oh, none of this is for sale. I just want to show it off. Like, come on, man. Like, what we
You know, I'm gonna start a new trend. I'm gonna take pictures and print it out and then put it on there and be like, not for sale.
Like, I want to show off all this, and it's cool. Like, it's really cool, and like I admire it too. It's just now I perceive it as like, well, then what is for sale and what is not, So that's just my take.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a very cool take. I think I definitely think that the second win of the modern art is where I expect it to be. Right. I think I talked about it a little bit. I did day trading back in COVID. So when everybody got into Pokemon, I got into day trading. Yeah. And my crazy ass got into the short side of things.
Oh, man.
Right? When everything was pumped to the moon.
Yeah.
And I didn't go bankrupt, thank God, right? But it took a lot of discipline for me to understand the human psychology of when does people panic and start selling, right? That was a whole point of me getting in, betting that is going to drop.
Yeah.
The only difference here is Pokemon doesn't have the short side, like the financial market, right? So when things are being pumped, it's quite frankly relatively safe. You just gotta know when to get out, like you said.
Yeah, you can't get out at the lowest point, and you can't get out, or you can't buy at the highest point.
Yeah, yeah.
Because right now, what's being pumped right now? The Greninja and Kingdra promos,
Kingdra,
right?
Kingdra promo, man.
And there's no I'm not buying no Kingdra for $60. I'll tell you that right now. And if you are, then you must know something that
I literally bought the last copy from you, I think. Right? Yeah, before the
and
pump.
now you doubled,
No, I already sold it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So yeah, man, you can't time the market, right? You just can't. You can probably like take chunks amongst the way, right? And sometimes like I have a crazy story, right? Like when World Championship was coming up, this is like mid-July, right? And I knew like all the Pika promos being pumped, like the red Pikachu, right?
Yeah, all the Growlithe ones. That thing was
whole bunch of it.
Yeah.
And this is when I'm like, man, I think I found an opportunity. Oh man, I bought 2 World Championship, the Yokohama one.
Mm-hmm.
I bought 2 at the highest price. Oh,
it was like $700 or something.
I bought on eBay, so I ate the tax. Yeah, it was like $660 plus tax. Oh, I ate it hard. So look, not all gamble pays off, right?
Yeah.
I was prepared to hold them for like eternity till like somehow like the next World Championship to pump again. But I eventually like got out, took a little bit of a loss on it. Not the worst, not the best, but I live and learn. I was like, okay, well the timing of the market is crucial. I gotta understand like, okay, because my theory at that time was like, well, it is hitting aggressively 700.
Yeah.
Once it breaks 700, it's gonna go to 10, right? Like 1,000, right?
Yeah,
that's usually how it goes, but it never broke through the 7. I think that was the kind of the gamble, and then it didn't work out, right? But live and learn.
That card, I saw its potential.
Yeah.
And I didn't stick with it because I had some at 200. And I was like, oh, I think that's a safe buy. It's at least a $300 card, right? Or $400 card. And then I sold off like $250. I was like, I make my 20% and I call it a day, whatever, right? Because with me, I don't hold unless it's sealed, right? We always hold seal, and I don't speculate as much as people think I do, right?
Yeah.
If I can make my margins, I'm selling it. So like
Okay.
if I tell some of my friends or are in the vendor space, like what is your margins? Like, well, my margin is not that steep to where I need to make 30-40%. Like, no, if I make my good 10-15%, it's called rinse and repeat, right?
Yeah.
And it goes to like a lot of these like Twitch streamers and whatnot. It's like they make 10%, but they do it at volume,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Exactly.
And for me, I don't do it every weekend like some of these guys.
Yeah.
I do it maybe once or twice a month,
Right.
right?
Right.
So if I don't move it, the market's gonna settle, and I'm gonna lose that 10%.
Yeah.
But if I sell it now, where I can already make my margin here and now, I'm gonna sell it, and wherever is hot at the point, I'm gonna basically catch what's fire and sell it at the highest.
Yeah.
For example, if let's say a Gold Star was, good example was a Gold Star Charizard, right? Everybody knows the Gold Star Charizard.
Even I have one now somehow.
Yeah, right? It's like the 5 was going, let's just for example, the PSA 5 was going for like 3 or 4K, and I bought one at that price. Now it's like 4 or 5K.
Yeah.
And it's time to sell, right? Because then next thing you know, okay, if it goes to 6K, cool. The guy that bought it from me, congratulations, right? And now he knows that I hooked them up with the deal, whatever cases, right? But if I don't sell and it goes back down, then I'm caught with the
Right.
the
You're caught with
losses.
the bag.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what my mentality is. And a lot of people is like, oh, I'm just gonna hold it, or I don't want to sell it. It's like when the opportunity is there, I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna sell it. If the offer's right or the price is right, I'm just gonna sell it.
Man, I have so many like questions as you're talking to. I have just so many questions already. I'm like, man, where do I want to branch out, man? I love just picking your brain, man. I think quick story too, right? Similar story. About last Collector Expos up in the Bay, I already have one bubble mew with me at the show, and somehow another one came in, and that was at the time when it was already going for 1,300.
Yeah.
And I got 2, and I was like, well, I made my good margin, and if somebody wants to come in, I'm gonna just sell it as soon as I can, because it's still at that time it wasn't proven, right? Yeah. So I was like, I don't know
scary, right? You're treading water. Like, what if it goes back down to 800? You're
Exactly. And I was like, I got in the second bubble mew at a really good price, right? So I'm not gonna like hold on to it like that, right? So first guy came up to me and like, oh, I've been looking for this. I'm like, well, lucky day. Your lucky day, my friend. So whoever you are, I have 2. And you know what I did? I was like, look, comms is 1,300. I got 2. Straight up, your lucky day. I'll sell it to you right now for $1,150.
Yeah.
Right? He was like, done. Sold it. And now I'm like, oh, crap.
But you can't think like that.
Yeah.
Because if we think like that, then every single transaction I made back in the day is an old crap moment, right?
Exactly. So I was like, okay, well, that was actually good, because what I started doing now with every show, I try to be surgical. And I don't know if I tell a lot of people, so you guys probably are the first ones to know. I used to just go into a show for the last like 6 months. I usually just go and show, not thinking much of it. Just like, okay, I'm a vendor. I go to show, done, right? Trying to make whatever, trade, sell, buy, whatever. Then at some point, I was like, man, it's kind of mindless. I don't know if I'm doing well. You're doing so many trade after trade after trade, and you're just like, you kind of lose track of the margin a little bit. There's no exact math. I haven't found a single vendor.
I don't think anybody, especially at this volume, has like a good system to track.
Yeah.
There's no way.
It's impossible.
It's impossible. You could take like all your notes, all your pictures, all you want. There's no exact way, because just the percentage of the trades, because then like unless you write every single thing down to the T.
It's not even that, right? Writing is one thing. Then processing it, figuring out your profit margin, and then on a couple of trades later, right? Because when we're just not talking about the same cards over and over, right? Different cards at different value. You go up and down. All of a sudden, in 3 or 4 trades later at the same show, you're like, I don't know if I made money anymore,
Yeah,
right? Like I
exactly.
got a
Yeah,
bigger
yeah.
card, like
Yeah.
that perceived to be more value. But yeah, like so the whole point of it is like now I go into shows more surgical. And I tell myself like every single show I should walk in with a goal in mind. Whether that is to acquire a certain card that I've been looking for,
Yeah.
or to make X amount of cash when I walk out, et cetera, et cetera. I found that to be more meaningful in a way, right? Because and also strategically, I'm finding that to be more disciplined.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not just like, okay, I'll do any random trade, because if I'm trying to be cash heavy by the end of the show, I'll be like, okay, I'm not gonna buy. I'm just not gonna buy random things.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, okay, how much cash do I have? And that's exactly what happened with Collector Expos. I wanted to buy the lovebirds with cash. I didn't because it deviated, but I wouldn't have been able to done that secondary deal if I wasn't disciplined enough to just sell, make my margin, get the cash, right?
Because that's a good point. Because opportunity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not ready, that ship is gonna sail.
Yeah.
That's why every show you don't see like the background. Like I don't take any trades.
Mm-hmm.
Like if the trade is good enough, I'll take it. I'd rather you, and this is cutthroat because I will tell them I trade at 70%.
Yeah.
You know,
You have
I'd rather you go sell it for 80, 85 and then bring me the cash. Because guess what? I could refresh my inventory and then I have cash to play with, right? Whether it's buy, seal, other slabs, or whatever I'm eyeing is undervalued, I'm going to buy it.
Oh.
You know, because if I don't have the capital to use, or I don't have that leverage, I'm just gonna sit on my cards.
Yeah.
You know, and then I don't want to take in junk. Not that saying people trade junk. It's just like it's not enticing to me, right?
Yep.
You bring me $200 slabs for my $2,000 slabs.
Yeah, you can give me 20 of those. It don't matter.
Great. I could trade at 80%. I make my 20% off your 100, but I don't want it. You know what I mean? You go sell it and you bring me the cash.
Yeah.
And I told a couple like buyers, and they're like, okay, because you could get more if you go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And if my card that you want is still here, obviously buy it. If you don't, like it is what it is. Like not every deal is gonna work out, and not every buyer is gonna buy from you.
That's
Yeah.
That's actually, you know what? That's actually really illuminating, because it goes back to the title of this, Gold Stars, right?
Yeah.
You know the true value of your inventory, and you can command that value with no question asked. You're not just holding like the
altar, like
altar,
or
the tag team that's flying at the moment that can be
that
replaceable.
everybody has. Like if you see the lovebirds, if you go look at a show, maybe 10 people have a lovebird all of a sudden. But then does anybody have a what is it, like a more like a torch?
Yes,
Star, right?
Or Delta species, like low pop in the 16s, right? Or something like that.
And then the thing is, with these cards are so low pop and so high in demand, your sale right now is old news next week. There's a new market next week or next day, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
Scary.
I'm not gonna risk it and take in some stuff that I'm just gonna hold while they lose value. Well, mine has the potential of increasing in value, even though I took it at a percentage.
Yeah,
right? Because I don't want what I say to my my other vendors. I don't want dead inventory. Right? Inventory. Correct. If I can't sell it for 1 or 2 shows, or there is nobody asking for it, or nobody like, hey, can I see that? Or there's no offers, even though it's like market or under market. Because you'll see like my Instagram stories. Like I said, I care about market to a certain degree. But if I make my margins, a lot of my story sales are like, it's already priced under market.
Yeah, I see that all the time.
Right? And then people will still want to come.
Man, you always bait me with those. I'm like, let me hit you up.
It's like maybe 5% or sometimes 10% under market, right?
Yeah.
Because I just want to move it. Because if it sits, it increase, it decrease, but I don't want to wait. I'm a rinse and repeat, And then I target specific things, and if it hits, it hits. If it doesn't hit, then move on. Well, move on. Learn my lesson. Wow. And right now, I've been very fortunate that it's a lot of stuff that I target hits. Like the Bubble Muse, the Van Goghs, the 151, like the Altar Error tag teams. Gold Stars. So like just stuff like that.
Yeah, that's really cool because that speaks also volume, right? Like you said earlier, it's a little bit counterintuitive, but like I know your play is Gold Star, right? You strategically get into certain alt arts when the market moves.
Yeah.
You're not trying to time the market. You're just trying to ride the wave a little bit, know when to get out. You're not getting ready to stuck with the dead inventory. You're not thinking of, the Vine Gold is going to go to 2,000 tomorrow, right?
I have a couple, but it's like if a person comes and buy it, I'm gonna sell it. They offer whatever reasonable price. To me, I'm gonna sell it. I'm not gonna hold it. I'm not gonna stash it away.
Yeah.
But some people, they do that and it works for them too. So not every play is your play, and it's just whatever works for you. There's a lot of vendors out here. A lot of people doing a lot of good stuff, and whatever works for them works. And this is what works for me, and this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. So guys, make sure you pick up that lesson, man. Everybody has their own philosophy, their own strategy. There's no one size fits all, right? Find yours and experiment, right? Responsibly. You
want to take the L, that's on you,
Yeah, exactly. Like the next thing you touched on, which I actually fascinated to learn, like your take on story sales versus going to event. I mean, I'm assuming you're obviously a big fan of it. You can't go to shows every week.
Yeah.
How does that work out for you? Like
for story sale, it's tricky because a lot of times you don't know the people. Well, actually, you don't know them like face to face, right? Because probably like
everybody has a generic
90% of the followers on Instagram or people you deal with, like you don't really know them, and obviously there's like a lot of scams and stuff going on in the community and in the hobby. But as long as you do your part, and obviously you like ship with insurance, whatever the case is, cover your end, you should be okay. And that's what you always pay up front. Like I would not ship the car first ever.
Yeah.
Right? People will have to pay, and they can't be able to charge back pay.
Right.
That Absolutely. Way it saves you. Because let's say if it gets lost in the mail and that's out of either party's control, obviously like we're gonna do whatever the process is and then refund the buyer or money.
Yeah.
But it is a risk. However, it's easy, right? You just post it up and then ship it, right? And a lot of people ask like, "Hey, do you meet meetups or do meetups?" No, I don't do no meetups because it wastes time, right? I either have to drive to you have to drive to me. Like I rather just ship it.
Yeah.
And if you don't feel comfortable with that, then you don't have to buy it from me, right?
Yeah.
So that's my mentality of it. It's like, and if you build enough rapport, enough following, enough references, people shouldn't second guess your story sales.
Of course.
And a lot of people will ask me for reference, like if this guy's trustworthy, like, oh yeah, that's I know him,
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, I want to get better at it, but I just find it so it's so time consuming for me because already all of the things I'm doing, and I sit there, take a picture, trying to you know what I mean? I'm an OG, man. I was born in '83, guys. You know what I mean? I might have a beautiful baby face, but I'm an old man behind all this. God, I don't have time for this. Set up the background.
You could. It's whatever you want it to look like. Obviously, a lot of people just take a picture of the card and just post it up, or have the picture saved and take it all at once, save it. It's like because I used to do eBay, right? I used to do a lot of eBay. And it is time consuming, but if for me, like I said, I don't do shows every weekend,
right?
So that's another avenue for me to sell.
Yeah,
right?
that's great.
And plus, if I don't sell at that time or whatever the case is, I feel like I'll lose out, right?
Yeah.
Or this is a moment for me to sell to prep for the next show or whatever the case is,
Okay.
So,
yeah. So okay, man. I definitely had to bring you back because I have so many questions, but I want to stick to the script here. Right?
Yeah. No worries.
The next question I want to ask, we didn't really get to touch on this, and I think you're probably one of the best guests for me to ask these questions. Beyond Gold Star, as I mentioned in the intro, you're known for exotic booster boxes, man. I want to get your take. Like you and Mr. Moss, right? The two people I've talked to who are just booster boxes.
Seal stuff? Yeah.
Not even just any seal, right? We're not talking about, black and white booster box or not even booster box, but ETB that you can find on the shelf. We're talking about specifically booster box or like really high-end exotics, items now.
Yeah.
Your philosophy, give it to me. Just I want to learn, man. Just tell me everything. Why do you believe in it, and why should people invest in that over, say, I don't know, the Evolving Skies, for example, versus the Moonbryon, right?
So, like I said, I watch a lot of YouTubers. Right? A lot of them have good information, and a lot of them is just repetitiveness, right? And a good point they make is if you just look at history, right? All these boxes eventually will rise.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a single booster box that don't rise. Even the worst,
Vivid
the worst
voltage,
yeah,
right? Even that.
it's because one, there's people that open them. Because there's many ways to collect a booster sealed item, right? You collect it sealed, you could open it, you could rip the packs, or you could, invest it and put it on display or whatever the case is, right? And right now we're getting to the space where a lot of people see this as an investment,
right?
And a lot of people on YouTube talk about it all the time. They market watch and whatever the case is.
Yeah.
And like I said, you just have to time when you buy. All right. For like, I'll an example. When I first got in, was September. Evolving Skies were like $700, $800.
It was still a hefty price to eat at that point,
and
right?
And then we're thinking like, man, do I really want to spend $700 on one booster box where I could get 4 of Twilight or, Paldean Evolve for like,
exactly.
the same price? And myself, I was like, but Evolving Skies is one of the best ones,
right?
And it has like the Moonbryon, it has the Rayquaza,
everything else,
and you just take a gamble. Like I bought a few at the 700 point. I think my cheapest one was like $550. But then I know when to sell too. So I tell my friends like I sold some at like the 1,200 mark or like the 1,000 mark.
Mm-hmm.
So I make that and invest in something else.
Yeah.
And then bought back in at like the 12, 14 mark. Did that again when it was at the 17, 18. And then bought back in and again at the 18, 19. Look at where we're now, right? It just rinse and repeat, right? Because if I don't, I have 5 in the very beginning where it was like the 700 and below. If I held on to that 5, I would have still have 5.
Right.
But if I didn't do that process, I wouldn't have like over double digits.
Yeah.
And it goes a lot with like people will just buy because they know. Or people are buying up Scarlet and Violet right now for whatever they're going for because they know eventually it's going to go up. So they don't care. And they just throw it in their closet, forget about it. I know a lot of people at Frankincense, they have X and Y boxes that's never been open. But guess what? When they bought it, it was like whatever market was back like
probably
4 or 5 years ago.
Box, $300
exactly.
case.
And then when they open it up, it's like it's just triple, like 100x, whatever the price is. And sealed is safe. In my opinion, sealed is safe.
Yeah.
You can never go wrong with sealed, but you have to be selective on which sealed.
Right.
Right. Because obviously the Sword and Shield era, you have good booster boxes.
Yeah.
When maybe like 6 of them are good. Like you got Lost Origin, Fusion Strike, Brilliant.
Relatively
Chilling,
safe.
right?
You can't really go wrong, right?
You can't really lose.
Even Chilling Reigns is like ridiculous for no reason.
Yeah. And I was buying it at 300 thinking like, oh man, I overpaid.
Yeah.
So, but then I move some, right? Make my margin, move some, and then invest in something else. And this is like a segue to where how did you build up like that much inventory, right?
In such a short amount of time.
Yeah, it's just you just got to rinse and repeat. Like you got to take those margins, put something else, because if you just hold, you just have the same inventory.
Yeah.
Although value does increase, but it's boring to me.
Sure.
It's boring,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I like a sealed, and there's many ways to do it, because people, a lot of those rip and shippers, they open packs, and I know some they open like thousands packs a day,
Yeah.
a day. So just imagine like they're opening up packs like it's no tomorrow.
And booster boxes are not easy to come by. Usually, like it's the first print when it launch.
Yeah.
And you're lucky if you see a second print. But even then, you can't, like the second print usually doesn't get sold at MSRP, right? It's not like Target just restock or whatever. Walmart just restock booster boxes out of nowhere, for like, in waves, right?
Yeah, and it's hard to hold because you're just if you don't have the capital to hold, you're getting that like panic mode. It's like, oh, I need to sell now because it's high, or like I don't know when the next sell is, or it's gonna go down. Because it's like a roller coaster, right? Because people, but you never know when you're at in the roller coaster, right? And
Until you already hit the bottom.
yeah,
You're like,
no,
oh,
it's too late.
Dang, I should have.
Man, I should have sold that or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you look at the market carefully, when there's a flat line, and a lot of those people on YouTube will tell you, that's like when a solid time to like actually like, okay, consider buying. I wouldn't say buy, but consider.
Yeah.
When it's like flatlining, it's like, okay, stabilize a little bit. Whether it's for like a month or 2 weeks, at least it stabilized, right? And the next thing you know, it might jump.
Yeah.
Especially for stuff that's out of print.
Yeah.
They're not gonna go down.
I think Fusion Strike was like the perfect like example of what you said, right? Like when I first got in, I remember
$200, $300.
Yeah, 2, 3, and then like I remember it went to 4 when I did my first show ever.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's crazy. Because to me, like, that was a lot of money.
It's double. It's like, I'm not going to pay double now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then it settled at like 4, maybe 5 for like a good 4 months. Didn't move. And then all of a sudden, bam, 800,
right?
700. I'm like, oh. And now everybody's buying it, right? Because everybody's like, oh no, I missed the train. Let me get on before. It's human psychology at the end of the day.
But it's so weird because like Pasadena, right?
Yeah.
I saw a vendor that had a whole full case of Fusion Strikes, 700. Market was 750, 770 at the time. I don't think he moved a single one, maybe a few.
Yeah.
So it's weird, right? It's weird. So how are these? Let's say I bring a booster box and it doesn't sell for whatever the market is at the time, and all of a sudden, a few weeks later, the market jumps. So it's like, it's weird, and it's like it's hard for you to time it, right? So it's
For sure.
I can't sell it for 220 yesterday, but now it's 240. How does that even work? Right?
Yeah. Well, I think that's like the craziest part, right? Like I always think that like with that kind of play, right? Like especially like when we're talking about, the de facto of booster box or something like that, team up.
Yeah.
10K, who just walks around with 10K, but like, I'm gonna buy a square box
Nobody.
today. Nobody.
Maybe one person in the show.
Yeah,
One.
yeah. So you're
that's
rolling
the
a
only goal.
Yeah,
You know?
and you're rolling a pretty hard dice there, right?
Yeah.
To just trying to do that. It exists, guys. Like it exists, but it is a hard thing. So you do have to be, again, collect what you like, because you're not willing to hold it, and you're holding it.
Yep.
It sucks, because you're gonna panic sell it, and then next thing you know, as soon as you sell it, that's when it's the roller coaster goes up, right?
Always, yeah.
Always, man. Never time to market.
Exactly.
But okay, cool, man. I think the next segment of that, going back to Gold Stars, what's your projection? Like, you obviously believe in Gold Star. You think we hit near the top? Like, what? Infinite? I don't know, man.
I don't know. It's hard. But what I'm looking at across the field is what I like to see is back then nobody had them, right? It was hard to see maybe a vendor have like 5 or 6 Gold Stars in their case or in their table. But now if you walk down like an aisle, everybody has 1 or 2. Maybe some have a little bit more. And then the Japanese ones are coming into play now too.
Yeah, because
So
people
it's
can't
like-
afford the English one anymore, right?
But then the Japanese are also climbing. But it gets to a point where it's too much, right? For the actual consumer,
Yeah.
right? Actual consumer, I think the good tipping point is like $2 to $3 grand for one slab. That's my opinion, right? If I'm
I think 700.
actual consumer. No, there's some consumers like, okay, I'm gonna spend $2K.
Yeah.
But guess what? They're not gonna buy it. They're gonna trade.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
They're gonna trade.
Yep.
And they're gonna trade wherever their value of cards went up, right? Because nobody is just dropping. You maybe find like 1 or 2 of what they call in the space whales at a show, right? That actually has money, and they're just drop like maybe 10K, 20K on their single card. And then like I come across some of those too, right? But they have a goal in mind. They have a specific card, right? And then if everybody has that card, they're gonna shop around for the best price.
Yeah.
They're not dumb they didn't get where they're at being, pulling the
Being
trigger
naive.
fast. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. So I think we have come to a stalemate with Gold Stars.
Yeah.
Right. If you didn't know, I sent my 1 through 9 to auction. You saw that?
Yeah, I saw that. That's
But I didn't go through it the traditional way, like ZNG or Prostein or PSA,
Yeah,
whatever.
you went to-
I'm trying to think outside the box.
interesting. Yeah. So for those who don't know or maybe just seeing this for the first time, explain the 1
So-
to 9.
And so I got this idea from, you know who Medikai is, right? Shout out to Medikai and all the Dallas boys. All right. He was hunting my Ray Gold Star 7. And he was willing to trade his Evolving Skies a little under market at the time for my Ray 7,
Wow.
right? Because he wanted for like his personal collection.
Yeah, yeah.
Because his goal was 1 through 10.
Okay.
Rays, Gold Star Rays. Exactly, right? And then just like, man, that's pretty cool. But then I was like, and at that time, the Gold Star was still like on the rise a little bit. So the market was kind of friendlier. So I was like, man, Gold Star Ray is already being, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right? But what's the next best thing? Like Charizard does not lose to Rayquaza, right?
No.
Or Rayquaza, as they call it, right? So I was like, I had, I believe, the 5 and 6 at the time already. And I was like, well, 1 through 4 is going to be easy, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be under $2,000 each.
Easy.
Easy, right? The biggest one is 10. And I know 10 I was not even going to go for the 10.
Yeah.
And when I started this, I wasn't even going to go for the 10. Because 1, there's not that many. And 2, if they have it, they're overpriced like it's no tomorrow, right? And it wasn't just like the smart move. But 1 through 9 was achievable. It was
Yeah.
actually like realistic. Because the 9 at the time was like 13 grand.
Yeah.
And then it shot up to like 15, and then there was like a 17, 18 sale. But it goes back to networking. I had a lot of those Gold Stars. Yeah, I bought it when the time is right. And then there was friends that gave me a little bit discount. And then the big ones, I trade into it. Right? Just like,
Right.
because I didn't pay no 17 grand on a card. But I
Yeah.
had enough, inventory and ammo to trade up to 17K.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, shout out to Trader John.
Trader John's.
John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who's the one who completed your set?
It was Mr. Moss, but
That's right.
we don't talk about that. All right, that trade, he threw me over the head for that trade. We don't talk about that trade, okay?
Yeah.
He knew I needed, and then, so I, he's the homie, so I give him. I basically let him cook me. What they call it. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go for it.
A lot of times, if people work with me, like I don't care,
Yeah.
right? I will let you, let's say, cook me. Because I don't care. Because you know why? Our relationship is more than this.
100%.
If I don't make $10 or I lose $50 to $100, that's okay. That's okay to me, right? Because I will make it somehow, some other way, right? I will make it on another light bulb idea. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
All right, guys, you ready?
I didn't bring anything. I'm just kidding.
Everybody now you're gonna know him for like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm
but I have
I'm
to
a
know
great
you though.
friend.
I have
I'm
to
a
know
great
you
friend.
though. Like it can't be like, oh, this is our first deal, and I'm like, oh no, dude.
Everybody gonna be like, yo, you want to have a burger to the next show? No, that's awesome. Okay, that's awesome, man. I think that perfectly gets us into this final segment. As usual, I have all my guests bring one of the prized possession or multiple. So I want you to start, and then we'll swap, and then we'll finish because you bought 2 items. So yeah, which one you want to introduce first? Yeah, go for it.
Obviously, we bought Evolving Skies because I feel like this is what got a lot of people into, chasing their grail, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously you have the Shadowless Zard, and back then everybody was like, I like the Charizard, but once they dropped that Moonbreon, it was like a whole different
It was
level
over.
of change,
Nobody
right?
cared about Charizard.
Yeah, nobody cared about Charizard.
Here's another hot take, guys. I hate Charizard. There you go. Put it in the comment section. Tell me how much I'm wrong.
But I brought this because I feel like Evolving Skies is very sentimental. And although I have a lot, I will probably always keep one,
Yeah.
right? And then the Moonbreon's in here is because this is a crazy story. When I first got into vending, Beckett 9.5 is basically PSA 10s, right?
Yes.
Basically.
Yes, but it's also treated like trash at the same time.
Yes.
It's the
value
weirdest
is
thing.
not there. And at the time, the Mooreon was like $800, $700, but the 10 was like 12 or 15. And I had two 9.5s, and I was like, man, these are 10s. So I cracked them. And this one, I messed up. The Beckett slab was so hard, and I cracked it too hard, and it indented the corner of the card. And I sat there for like 20 minutes, just like in awe and shock. I was like, man,
Can't believe I did.
what am I doing with my life, man?
A reflection moment. That's when he went towards the Gold Star.
Yeah, that's why I was like, man, I'm done with this hobby, man. This is ridiculous. What am I doing, man? But it's actually like a good humbling point. It's like, man, don't rush things, right? Don't take anything too seriously. And my wife, she sits there and smiles because she saw me in like, I never seen like this before.
Yeah.
And I was like, because in my mind, it's like, man, I just, one, messed up my card, which it was worth a lot at that time. And then the potential upside of what I could have got. Because the other one got a 10. The other one got a 10, So I was just like, man, that's really bad, But yeah, lessons learned. Don't crack PSA 9, BGS 9.5.
Have you tried one? Have you tried cracking another one since?
No, I haven't. I heard. So I'm not gonna, I'm gonna be very careful.
I've very recently, I'm talking about this week. I've learned a very safe way to crack it.
What is it?
I'll tell you off camera. 'Cause,
Okay.
I don't want to be like,
Okay.
give, you know what I mean? I don't want to give financial
Yeah,
advice.
yeah.
No, I don't want you to damage your car. So, you know what I mean? I don't want to do that.
Yeah, if you damage your cards, it's okay.
That's on you,
It's just,
right?
It's just a card. It's just a
But
card.
if you ever catch me live, feel free to ask me. Maybe I'll share it. You know what I mean? So that's good.
then-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I brought that. And then, obviously, we gotta bring Gold Star. Talking about Gold Stars, right? I don't have my Zards because they're not in my possession no more. Because it would have been pretty sweet to show
That would
1
be
through
pretty
9.
sweet.
But I brought PSA 9 Gold Star Pikachu.
I think that's a freaking cool picture. Like, look, again, I don't like Gold Star guys, but that one draws to me. Because, you see my logo, Pokemon Hero. At one point, I was like, man, I'm going to put the Pokemon Hero looking like that.
Yeah, because the Pikachu, the arm cross, like, is just like a
gangster,
little,
man.
Yeah, like a little savage. Just like, this, And then, okay, going off topic, but I thought about doing the Pikachu,
Yeah.
right? The 1 through
Yeah,
whatever.
the
I
one-
thought about it. It was between Pikachu and Charizard, but I just like the Charizard better.
You picked it right.
Yeah, I
for
just like
sure.
Charizard
100%.
better,
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is my most prized possession right now. It's not, I would say, like, I wouldn't keep it, right? It's just like the most, like I said, prized possession in my inventory. And like I said in the earlier, like, I don't have a PC.
Yeah?
My only PC is binder cards. Well, it's me and my wife's.
Okay.
I don't have no slabs,
Wow.
no nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the questions I want to like detour back a little bit. You don't there's no PC, huh?
No PC. I only have Lugias, and then we have like old Walk era up to like Neo raw cards.
How do you control yourself? You know what I mean? Like, cause for me, I got in. I'm like, man, this is it's shiny objects, right? I'm like, this is cool. This is cool. This is cool.
Yeah, it's very hard. Obviously, like, I want to keep everything. I know in the back of my mind, this is a business, right? And if I hold on to this stuff, I am deviating from my business goals. Whether it's sell and make money, and then have a better life.
Yeah.
Because the army will only be certain time, and then I got to move on.
Right. Oh, it's very, very consistent with your mentality, right?
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
always make a game, move on.
Yeah. Because if I'm just being a collector, then I'm just sitting on all this value, right? And then you got
At the end of the day, it's just perceived.
Yeah, and exactly. And and life has to move on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Well, just for you,
Nice.
guys, call me a fickle person. I said I don't like Gold Star.
He got into the hype.
Hey, like I said, it makes business sense. Just going to the lesson of the day, right?
Yeah.
I got into this, PSA 7 Gyarados. I wasn't even seeking for it, right? But I done a good deal with somebody overseas, and that person recommended me to the friend, and then the friend hit me up. They're like, hey, I had this Gold Star to trade. Would you want to trade some modern art for it? I'm like, hey, if it makes sense.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, so with that said, I've always said on camera, off camera to everybody, right? And this is a philosophy I hold true to myself. I never chase, right? Because the moment you chase a card, you lose all senses of relevancy, right? So I came across multiple ponchos in a short period, 2 months. The first one I really, really wanted to chase.
That's a whole.
That's a whole different. I didn't even get to ask you in those, right?
Yeah,
that's
I don't want them. Taking them away. I don't want them.
Yeah, follow up episode, right? But I got the first one, traded it out, and I'm just thinking like, man, that opportunity is never gonna come back, right? Because it's like, how often do you just get a poncho when you're starting in your first 6 months of your journey, right? Unless you're doing it at the best of the best, right?
Yeah.
Next thing you know, within a month, I got 2 more.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay.
But it's a big card to hold.
It is.
You know?
It is.
It's like you could hold a, what is it, $5,000 to $8,000 poncho, or you could have $5,000 to $8,000 worth of other inventory, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, and then we can probably more
Whole different segment on that, man.
And it's just like vendors ask like, hey, is it a good show? And then people are like, no, because well, if you look at their case, it's like it's all big cards, right?
Yeah.
So you have to sell 1 or 2, and then it becomes a big show. If you don't, then it's a bad show.
Yeah, it's like hit or miss, right? Hail Marys, right?
Yeah.
So going back to this, once I did a first good deal, the person recommended me even overseas. So this is kind of crazy, like overseas deal. You know what I mean? There's a lot of trust involved.
Yeah.
This person was like, hey, I have this. Would you want it? Trade modern. So I was like, okay. Like I did the trade and everything makes sense. They wanted it modern because overseas, they like that stuff.
More sacred.
Yeah.
More scarce.
Right.
Scarce,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I take that in. So I got this in. It makes business sense. And now I'm going to look to move this, guys. If you guys want this, come visit me. But I thought it was very...
Before I take it.
Yeah. I thought it's very relevant for the conversation because, again, people seen the previous episode. They're like, man, you don't even like Gold Star. And I don't. I truly don't. It's just not my flavor, not my cup of tea. I don't cut out anything in any other conversation. If you guys seen this, one take all, right?
Yeah.
This is just my raw opinion. I got into this hobby because of the modern art. There's a reason I didn't get into it in the last 25 years, right? Gold Star is sacred, and I get it. It's just not my thing. However, when the business opportunity makes sense, I will very much do my due diligence and make sure that I provide this for somebody else and capture the market, like the piece of it, right?
Yeah.
So, but more importantly, the most important thing, and this is a hidden, fun joke, not even the card that I want to showcase, is this Phantom card.
That's a whole nother, You gotta be creative. Like I said, creative, right? You gotta think outside the box. Like what's outside the box is
outside the box.
Literally outside the box. Yeah, you gotta like the guards and the fan displays. Like you gotta be the first to, because now it's everybody does it. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, back then I had like maybe 50 to 80 nebulas, and only if I knew the future, right? But guess what though? I still made my money or made my margins on the nebulas and on the whatever limited guards that came out. Because at the end of the day, it's like, I am not the main supplier for those things, right?
Yeah.
They will always beat me because they are the supplier. However, I could catch a wave and make my money and then move on.
And quite frankly, right now, like, ask anyone who's willing to spend what the asking price for the Nebula,
ridiculous.
right?
$200 some dollars.
No, nobody. I could buy a card or I could buy that card. Like, you know what I mean? Sure, it commands that price maybe because there's 1 or 2 sales on eBay listing.
Yeah.
But we talked about this on our show. Just because there's a listing, there's a market, doesn't mean anybody would value at that price,
And it's just another vendor or another
sales trick.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
Yeah.
So
you just gotta think outside the box, literally. Like, it's a whole nother story, but it's maybe sold over
Yeah.
triple digits, you know.
Yeah. This man know how to think outside the box. Pick his brain. With that said, we've come to the end of the show. So again, last thing, please tell everybody your social media, how to find you, because you know what? We love you. You're the best.
So I only have Instagram. I don't do the YouTube. I don't do TikTok, none of that, because I like to keep it very private.
You don't like to do the dance?
No dancing. No dancing with Pokemon cards in here. But you can find me at Savhype.TCG on Instagram, and shoot me a DM if you want some graded cards and Phantom displays.
Yeah, and some
running low.
Great story sales. Man. All right, guys. Yeah. This is Alan Lee here, aka Pokemon Hero. Make sure you guys follow us, subscribe to the channel. We started getting really a lot of traction, so it would be really appreciated if you guys can share some love, share with your friends. We're also on Spotify, so if you can watch this episode or it's too much, listen in the car, man. It's great. I listen to my own voice, and I'm like, man, that sounds like that. It's terrible.
I know, right? It's gonna be the same thing.
No, but it's great fun, man. So with that said, we'll see you guys on the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great one, guys.